Okay, up next, we have Defne Levine.
Hi, everyone. My name is Defne. I work in the hybrid lab, and I'm also part of the Meta Research Collaborative. And today I'm going to be talking about some research I worked on with Dr. Stevens, looking at qualitative insights on fostering collaborative research. So to start, a little bit of background. Collaboration increases research value, productivity, and quality. But fostering networks is a challenge and can be a barrier for providers and researchers. So consortia are key facilitators of collaborative networks, and their success is often measured in terms of papers and grants. But we wanted to take a look about the impact on collaboration behaviors. And like I mentioned, there are barriers to successful collaboration. So some of our objectives were to understand collaboration preferences. So what working environments are most beneficial and when are collaborations most rewarding? What makes collaborations most successful? We also wanted to identify consortia benefits. What benefits do members of consortia experience and how can we maximize their impact? And overall, aiming to help researchers understand how to make collaborations more successful and sustainable. So we conducted interviews with 30 members from 3 national consortia. Participants reflected on consortia benefits and impact, and also shared what helps them develop successful research collaborations. And we completed a qualitative analysis with deductive and inductive coding. And you can see here one interview participant speaking on successful collaborations shared. Often it's somebody I have personal history with, and so I have a sense of who they are, how they work, and what they're capable of. So now we'll jump into some of the findings. One common topic discussed was relationship building and how collaboration is shaped by relationship building. 13 participants shared the importance of existing relationships and common experiences in fostering effective teamwork. So they talked about how either existing connections or similar projects and working together factored into their establishing a collaboration. And similarly, 12 participants relied on referrals and connections to identify potential collaborators. 8 participants noted that similar working styles were important for success, and 14 participants shared that working online was convenient, but meeting in person helped establish deeper interpersonal connections. So now I'm going to go through a couple quotes that participants shared that align with some of these takeaways regarding relationship building. In terms of shared personal history and recommendations from others, you can see that participants shared that having a common person that you know generally puts them already ahead of the curve. And they'll reach out to their mentor and say, you know, I'm interested in working in this area. Do you know somebody who you've worked with in the past who you would recommend that I reach out to? In terms of working environments, it was a common comment that a combination of both working in person and virtual was kind of the best recipe for success, especially meeting in person initially to kind of establish that personal connection, and then working online. People shared that allowed them to both reach a greater kind of group of collaborators geographically. They didn't have to be in the same place, and then efficiently working by sharing their screen. And for the actual work, that was something that was a positive of working online. They also shared that sometimes it was just trial and error. You can see here, a participant said, it's a little bit like dating for academics. At the end of it, you're like, do you want to work on that project together? And it's like the equivalent of a second date. And others similarly have asked mentors, and they say, well, you just have to try it out. And if it's terrible, you never do it again. In addition to relationship building as something that was commonly discussed, participants talked about the benefits of research consortia And new connections and resources were two of the key benefits discussed. 13 participants reported forming valuable professional relationships through their consortia membership. 16 participants shared that one benefit was staying informed about current research and emerging trends in their field. And then 15 participants identified new grant opportunities and funding through their consortia networks. So again, just some quotes that participants shared during the interviews. In terms of new connections, they shared that they met a lot of people from other institutions who do similar work, and having that network of shared interests has been really beneficial to their research. Another thing that was discussed was understanding what others are doing, one, so that they can build on each other's work and avoid redundancies, and also find opportunities for collaboration. And then lastly, funding support was something commonly discussed as a benefit. However, it was also something that was discussed as a challenge by some participants who shared that because they didn't receive funding, their benefits from consortia were limited. So that's something that we wanted to bring up as something that consortia leadership can think about, ways to ensure that participants are engaged and benefiting even if they're not receiving pilot grants and other funding opportunities. And so some high-level takeaways, like I mentioned, in-person still matters. While remote work increases efficiency, opportunities to meet in person lead to more collaboration initiation and deeper interpersonal connections. The trial and error approach is valuable because successful collaborations require experimentation and adaptation to find the right working dynamics. And then networking, leveraging networking events to spread research awareness and ensuring unfunded members stay engaged and benefit beyond financial support are all valuable. And specifically when talking about consortia and those benefits, we can think about other ways to have similar models implemented in other working groups beyond just formal consortia. So this brings me to the interdisciplinary impact. While we're talking about, or I'm talking about healthcare researchers and consortia in this specific research, this can be applied in many different fields. How to help researchers in different fields work together, establish successful collaborations, and facilitate that networking and connecting with each other and raising awareness of each other's work. So even though people are aware of, their work through the consortia newsletters, in other spaces, we can also kind of share research, share what's happening in a way that can help improve collaboration. Thank you.